Welcome, fellow disciples. This is the Alchemist. I hope you are having a really great weekend. While we are waiting for my new mic stand, I thought that it is time to introduce something new. Here is the first top 5 list of the channel. You may have seen me playing a few action roguelike horde survival games before, so it is time to make a list for 2023. Keep in mind that this is a list based on the games I found the best, so if you have any other awesome action roguelike games to suggest, please do that in the comments. Without further ado, let's jump right into the list. We are starting with a triple tie here, because I could not choose which game I love better. Our first game on the list is called Nordic Ashes. Nordic Ashes is a Norse mythology inspired action roguelike with a stunning art style and a rather unique skill tree. The game is currently in early access and the devs are very open to community feedback. We have the classic action roguelike gameplay loop here. Every level grants us a skill point that we can invest into the skill tree. One of my favorite parts of the game is that you can choose between different starting weapons for most of the characters, but while you are leveling up, you have a chance to get those other weapons thanks to the skill tree. After you maxed out the level of a weapon, you can awaken it. There are crystals you can get by finding them. There is a crystal in every single map lying around, and there are 2 other crystals that you can get by defeating the mini-bosses of that specific map. By roaming around and taking care of those hordes of monsters, there are many things you can interact with on the maps. There are shrines, destructible environments, and events where you can get new items. You can also get seeds, potions, and gold while exploring. Completing a map grants you Yggdrasil leaves, which are basically talent points. There is a huge talent tree on the menu where you can invest your leaves. These talents are available for every character you play, and you can make 5 different loadouts. There are very nice skins you can unlock by completing various challenges, and on top of that, there is a daily challenge with fun rule sets. In the achievements menu, you can see all the already achieved ones and the available ones as well. In the glossary, you can search between the items of the game if you're looking for a specific one for a future build or whatnot. The game goes for a very decent price, but it is featured in sales very often. If you like the genre, I highly recommend to check out Nordic Ashes because it is a very decent action roguelike. Going on, we have our second game on the list called Striving for Light Survival. Striving for Light is a very interesting 2.5D ARPG that has an action roguelike version as well. The game has a very interesting art style that at the first glance could feel weird and out of place, but I got fond of it very fast. This game features a very interesting dual-wield approach because we are using 2 weapons at the same time. One of them is a melee weapon, and the other is a ranged projectile-based one. This enables a lot of very interesting combinations. There are many characters, skills, and weapons to choose from. We are collecting essences from the defeated enemies, and with those essences we can progress on the procedurally generated skill tree. Unlocking a node will reveal further possibilities. There are stones to be found as well, and with them we can reroll a node that we don't like or we don't need at the time. Most of the time there are downsides of the unlocked nodes as well. If our build is getting hindered by too many of them, we can turn off the selected nodes by right-clicking on them. We have to survive 20 waves every time, and with each map it is getting harder. Our main goal is to survive, but we can only unlock the next tier of the map if we can take down the last boss in the 20th wave. The game has a very cool integration feature. You can use your YouTube or Twitch account and you can compete with other players on the leaderboards. Our third game on the list goes by the name God of Weapons. God of Weapons is a 3D action roguelike horde survival that features one of the most exciting elements of the genre right now. This element is none other than the inventory management mechanics. There are 20 levels you have to survive, and after every level you can expand your inventory based on your progress. Taking down enemies will reward you with coins, and with those coins you can buy new weapons and items. Every item has something unique to it, and this is where the inventory management comes in. Your current build is heavily influenced by your character's starting weapon and relic. Based on those items' unique attributes, you can start building up and managing your inventory. The game features 5 different difficulties and a bunch of characters to unlock while you progress. There are keys and stones as currency in the game, and with those you can buy universal upgrades to your characters or unlock new items. As I frequently mention in the channel, that is why I love indie games so much, because you can always combine a really solid foundation with something new and exciting. God of Weapons is fully released now and goes for a very nice price on Steam. I just really quickly wanted to mention that this is the first year anniversary of the channel, and I think this year was an absolute blast. I have a lot of things in mind, and if you want to support me on this journey, please hop onto my Ko-fi page where you can support me directly. Thank you very much. Now that we have covered the games on the third place, let's jump right into the next one. I have a special connection to this game thanks to my tabletop role-playing game background. This game is none other than Pathfinder Gallowspire Survivors. If you are following the channel, you might know that I have been playing this game since day one and made a few videos about it. Gallowspire Survivors is a story-oriented action roguelike horde survival game based on the legendary fantasy IP Pathfinder invented by Paizo. The game was released into early access on September 14th and has gone through many changes ever since. The studio behind the game is called Become, and I really admire how receptive they are to community feedback. Due to its story-based nature, the game consists of 16 maps which later got separated into chapters, making it much more comfortable to play. I do not want to spoil the story for anyone, so if you are interested in the story of Gallowspire, check the Pathfinder wiki or play the game. The game tells the story on loading screens and by dialogues from the bosses. We can play 3 of the iconic character classes of Pathfinder: the Fighter, the Rogue, and the Wizard. My favorite mechanic of the game is the companion system. You can select another character to accompany you on your journey and help you along the way. The characters do not have any starting weapons anymore, so we can fully decide our builds from zero. There are 4 weapon slots and 6 passive ability slots you can fill and upgrade while progressing. Alongside one of the biggest patch, a potion belt and a teleport mechanic was introduced, making the game much more fun to play. There are 5 types of potions in the game, and thanks to the belt you can store 1 of each if you find yourself in a bad situation. There is an exception, but if you play the game, you will find out why. With the teleport mechanics, you can get out of harm's way very easily. Every character has an ultimate ability that needs some time to charge. You can time your ultimate ability to do big combos, survive, and whatnot. While exploring the dungeon, you will find chests. Those chests will give you very nice upgrades in different rarities. Also, there are mini-bosses on every map, and they can reward you with rare chests. Rolling on a chest features the iconic D20 dice roll. There is a fully reworked card system that lets you get new items and weapons or upgrade your existing ones. Now every card has the same rarity, so you can focus on upgrading and going on to the right ones instead of clicking on the highest rarity. The game has 5 rarity types from common to legendary. Upon progressing, your character and your companion get experience points. By experience points, you are getting levels. By levels, you get attribute points that you can distribute on your character sheet just like in TTRPGs. Besides attribute points, you can get talent points, which can unlock and upgrade different talents for your character. Talents are passive skills that empower your character in many different ways. There are 3 active quests every single time you embark on a run. By completing quests, you can earn gold, attribute, and talent points. There is an option to reroll those quests by spending some gold. Every chapter features an end boss that you have to take down to complete said chapter. They also added a nice feature called Hyper Mode, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. The game features different difficulties from Adventurer to Mythic. Your progress will remain between characters, so don't worry. Based on the progress and changes, I think Pathfinder Gallowspire Survivors can easily become one of the best action roguelike horde survival games out there. The game goes for a little bit higher price than the action roguelikes usually, but I think it's worth every single cent. Okay, It is time for the top 1 action roguelike of the year. I am pretty sure that you've seen it coming, but my top Horde survival game of the year is none other than HoloCure Save the Fans. The game is a fan project which is totally free to get, and you don't need to have extensive knowledge of the HoloLive scene or those VTubers at all. HoloCure Save the Fans features all the HoloLive members, and since the game is getting patched frequently, there are many more to come. There is a huge pool of characters to unlock and play with, so if you are looking for a game to invest many hours on, HoloCure is just right for you. Survive time maps, defeat mini-bosses, and tackle the last boss to unlock new stages, new items, and many more. Of course, every single thing in a game has lore, or a reference to something. The game features hard stages and timed ones alongside the normal mode, and there is an endless mode as well. HoloCure has a very cheery pixel graphics, and it features the fans of said VTubers as enemies to defeat. By leveling up, you can unlock and upgrade character-specific skills, and many other weapons and items, so there are many build possibilities out there. You can make collabs with different weapons and items, and by these collabs you can make very powerful new weapons. The shop is a very important element of the game because you can unlock new features for the characters and permanent upgrades as well. You can also make your life harder by banning items and other weapons and increasing the difficulty of the game. There is a gacha system in the game, but do not worry, you do not have to pay for the game at all. By this system you can unlock your new characters to play and of course new skins for those sad characters. Every character has a special ability that does something extraordinary and helps you to survive. The fanbase of the game is one of the nicest fanbase I ever encountered. They are very helpful and all the good things. Every single soundtrack is an absolute banger, and of course all of them are existing ones performed by those VTubers. There is an extensive armory where you can check all the items featured in the game. There is a Holo House mode in the game, which is basically a farming and living simulator. You can fish, grow food and whatnot. The thing is, I was not able to discover the mode fully because I was busy blasting the other modes of the game. HoloCure, in my opinion, is the best example of why indie gaming is the best. So what do you think about my list? Do you have anything to add? Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you like the content of the channel, please subscribe and help me reach my next goal, which is 400 subscribers. Until then, I was the Alchemist, and I see you soon with another gameplay video.